There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master teacher, freedom for the master teacher, freedom for the master teacher, freedom for the master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building tampering. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master teacher, freedom 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 for the master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master teacher, freedom 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 for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master for the truth that lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we maybe, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring a master teacher, bring a freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring a master teacher, bring a freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Omar, okay, welcome, and more to be joining us. Appreciate your time you've taken. As always, you know, you could have been doing something else, watching the footy, or doing something much more important maybe than tuning into our class. But this is important.
Yeah.
This is very important because it's about our souls. As OSM says, our souls matter. Why does it matter? Because that's the real you. And that real you is what's connected to the divine and to your Nataru ancestors on a higher dimensional plane. If you want to be connected to them, if you want to know who you truly are and your journey in this big space void of existence, then tune in and we can take you on our journey by way of Partner Babyanun, our spiritual teacher, master and teacher. Okay, we're going to open up with our chant. Okay, as I stated, I'll introduce myself and then my brother here will also introduce himself. I am known by the name of Usir Ka'a Reye, Ranani Kawun, Usir Ka'a Reye. And to my left is my brother.
Gore Gamun Tahuti.
Okay, and we're student teachers of the master teacher. Okay, bringing you Wu-Sabat in the auspicious place of Nashat. Okay, Nashat can be found on nashat.co.uk. Also on 101 Chair Street, CRN1, is it CRN? CR0. CR01RN, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so if you want to tune in, you can tune in on Zoom or tune into the class so you can see us as well on there. Or if you physically want to make your way to the store, then you come to the store and you find us here teaching, and that's where we gather every Saturday and other days as well. Okay, visit the store because it's about supporting each other in our community. All right, without any further ado, we're going to start the chant. So Tatzama. Okay, that's the short rendition. What short version? Because it actually goes up to 99 different chants that we do. Sorry, 19, beg your pardon, and 99 attributes of Panataru. But obviously, time permitting, and you want to get your questions and things in, we do shorten it for the audience. Okay, welcome again. As I said, today's class will be a reading on Patarak, all expanding. Okay, we'll read and then we're gonna pause and we're gonna ask your questions. Please have pen and paper because we always encourage that for students to study, because it's not just about just listening to the information, it's also about applying the information and questioning so that you can have a full understanding of what we teach. So Patarak the Way is from actually a larger book known as the Scroll of Eyes, which is linked into the Akasha Records. Okay, so this really just being broken down into sections for us to assimilate and digest, because the actual book itself is, massive. But this how the master teacher has done in a way where he is slowly administering the information to us so that we can better assimilate it, comprehend it, ask questions and probe further. And so as our minds expand, then we will be given the necessary information to build, okay, and become the true beings that we are, which are Ethereans, because it's essentially a transformation process. Yeah, and the way you're going to be transformed is by way of the Wu-Sabat. Wu-Sabat is the transformation and the application of the sciences that's been given by Partner Babjanon. Okay, so Gorek is going to open up and start reading, and then any questions, please feel free to put your hand. Okay. Oh, just 1 second. We've got a technician doing something, and then all right, tell us that one. Yeah, so yeah, Greg will open up, and then please have pen and paper to hand, write your questions. Anything that sounds, ambiguous or your lack of understanding, then please probe, because we don't want you leaving class feeling like, ugh, I didn't understand this, and then Wu-Sabat is a bunch of, we don't want that kind of. So yeah, ask your way, and go ahead, Gorek.
Right, I think before I start, I also want to acknowledge those who came tonight into the store, into our space. So the Zamotatu and Zamalu, I want to say thank you and welcome to you tonight. And as we go along, please do not hesitate, put your comments and questions in the chat and we'll address them. All right, so tonight we'll be reading from the Patarak, The Way, called All Expanding. Laikum, my beloved, Nuwaup Haralu, Nuwaupian children, my jewels, know this all expanding omniverse. 2, the whole, omni, entire, everyone, not of an amount, yet that one. Paut, all. 3, not one and all, just all. Just one and just existing, not of or from. 4, Paut, the all, is of ease, while Paut, all, is just ease. 5, just as Nawab Kawan, Supreme Being, called Pa Nawab, the Supreme, then incarnates as the Supreme Being, all of unique nature at work, being. 6, it exists as omniverse, becomes multiverses, triverses to dual verses, onto this one universe. 7, and this incarnated universe was at one time chaos, and its opposite at another time. 8, in itself a dual as in seasons, day and night, life and death of things in nature. Verse 9, a dual verse of nature at work, and this is order called cosmos. Verse 10, and disorder called chaos. 11, chaos is also referred to as primordial chaos, nuntat and nun, dual from nu, omni, or source. Verse 12, the purpose for the all, in all, existing as multiverses or all as omniverse, and then 13, the universal order is one part controlled, as will is controlled as choice. Verse 14, you have 180 degrees of one choice of will and 180 degrees of the other choice. You have to choose 180 degrees, and 180 degrees is your 360 degrees of choice. Verse 15, the same throughout all of nature in this universe of dual cosmos. 16, as in time as a point. 17, now is time. 18, and then is time. 19, yet now is between two thens. Verse 20, the then of the past and the then of the future. 21, so it manifests as the point of each person's now or right now. Verse 22, and that is what I am or will do right now, what is happening by my body right now, between two called voluntary body functions and involuntary body functions. Verse 23, such as to blink, to breathe, or others are involuntary body functions. 24, yet to raise one's hand, open one's mouth, are voluntary functions, and those in between ruled by will or choice. Verse 25, so if the physical world has two actions, two motions, cause and effect, voluntary and involuntary functions, so it is also the mental state, the spiritual state. Verse 26, the mind also must have voluntary and involuntary functions. 27, you can blink when you will, or you will blink if something comes too close to your face, to your eyes. Apologies. Verse 28, that is how all nature works, and all in the universe are under the will of nature. Allow me to pause there for a sec and just see if anybody got some questions or rereads. Zamilta.
You were speaking about the 180 degree of choices. It's first of all, is that 180 degrees of disagreeable and 180 degrees of agreeable choice?
You can look at it like that. You can look at it like that. But the choice is also based is really more based on your will. You see what I'm saying? So the will is the 180. So you're right, 180 agreeable, 180 disagreeable, but it's the shift, and that depends on your will. You see what I'm saying? Is the decision factor is your will to choose between those two choices. But yeah, essentially.
Okay, if that's the case, then doesn't that mean that both choices are so disagreeable as well as agreeable is just as important as one another as long as they're both for the greater good? Because I just say that because I feel like people are always trying to like pit good against bad, but I think it should be more of a case of them coexisting. Is that correct, or
Well,
is there more to it than that?
No. You're 100% right. It's not about that's the perception concept, because what you perceive as good to one person may be bad to another. You see what I'm saying? That's really coming through from the religion aspect when you're looking at it from real, but from a nature aspect, one has to balance the other, because you can't have a positive or positron without electron. You see what I'm saying? They have to coexist. You see, so nature manifests these two polarities. You see what I'm saying? So when you go into, like, for instance, the wisdom of Tahuti, he explains that there's something called the law of polarity. That means there's balance. So in nature, there's balance, and it's how you utilize that particular nature for the achievement of what you're looking to achieve. Now, if that result turns out where it destroys things, then it becomes evil. Just what I'm saying. But if it's a nature where it becomes a thing where it's still disagreeable, like I gotta defend my family. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. If somebody attacks your family and you're defending them, you're using your disagreeable side. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. When you kill that person and then you take their life, do you get what I'm saying? Because we as Nuwaupians or Sabians, we don't take life. You with me?
But then that also goes back to the intention. If you take their life, but not with intention to do so,
Well,
because of defending.
that's different. But know that there is consequences. That's what nature teaches you. So irregardless of whether, oh, I did good, I tried to help my family, there's gonna be consequences. That's how nature works. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to understand the principles of nature when we actually go ahead and do an act. Do you see what I'm saying? And know that there's always gonna be a balance. You know what I mean? And it may not necessarily happen in your immediate lifetime. It may happen in your descendants' lifetime. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
Did you say that?
Oh, the wisdom of Tahuti?
Yeah.
You can get that. I think we might get it printed again. Should be coming out, or it might be upstairs. I'm not too sure, but it's called the wisdom of Tahuti. Yeah.
And I think if I could just
Go ahead,
to say saying, I think in terms of the initial question about the choice.
Adum Borek, I just wanted to say we do have it upstairs.
So
Oh,
cut
got
them
it,
out.
Okay.
There you go.
Where did that come from?
We've gone overseas.
Right, but to come back, and in terms of the choice, I think when one considers the title of this scroll, then the all expanding is all, and in all is both agreeable and disagreeable. And I think well, what my brother Hussein said is understanding that balance. So as long as you can look at the facts, reason out, and then make a decision, obviously which has implications or consequences, but that takes you to the next step. And that's part of what we do here at Wu-Sabat is we give you the facts, you go and do your own research, get that knowledge, and then make that decision by way of natural nature, of course.
Okay, we've got a question on, yeah, you asked your question, we've got a question on Zoom afterwards, yeah.
Robert. So earlier I want to say it was around verse 11 or 12. It was breaking down from the omni to the multi to the tri to the dual to the uni verse, and then it mentioned something about chaos and Nunta.
Yep.
Could you just break that down for me again, if possible. And with that chaos being Nuntat, what's the other end of that spectrum? And what deity would that relate to? If
Okay, so reread it, and then we can probably expand on it. Yeah,
Right.
try and find something in existence. How?
Right, I'll read from verse 5. It says, just as Nawab Kawan, supreme being called Pa Nawab, the supreme, then incarnates as the supreme being, all of unique nature at work being, right? Verse 6. It exists as omniverse, becomes multiverses, triverses to dual verses onto this one universe. Verse 7. And this incarnated universe was at one time chaos, and its opposite at another time. Verse 8. In itself, a dual as in seasons, day and night, life and death of things in nature. Verse 9. A dual verse of nature at work, and this is order called cosmos. Verse 10. And disorder called chaos. Verse 11. Chaos is also referred to as primordial chaos, Nuntat, and Nun, due from Nu, omni, or source, right? So I'll yield at that point and then.
Okay, if you're gonna just try and see if you're gonna expand on. Go ahead, man. See, do your bit. Yeah, do your bit.
I think what my understanding is, as we as Ethereum beings understand this, one dimension, two dimensional, 3 till 9, etheric beings. So it consists of almost like an onion. You've got your core, and then you've got layer, and that's from universe to omniverses, right? So in terms of your question about the chaos, I'm not 100% sure of the deity, and I'll ask.
They represent principles.
yeah.
You with me? So the deities are more tones, vibration, and frequencies in nature, referred to as one as Nun, and because there's duality, there's feminine and masculine.
Yes.
These are the two principles that work, yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? So in ancient Egyptian, the principle for the positive and negative is Nun and Nuntat.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? So you're dealing with principles here. And those principles then also will manifest in an anthropomorphic form as male and female. Does that make sense? Yeah. So those dualities exist as energies. And those energies, they manifest into life forms. So the chaos aspect is not chaos as in rampaging, etc. It's things without form, things that have not been shaped into form, etc. That's the chaos, because it's in a state where I'm trying to find existence, how and why, and then I'll read it out from existence, how and why. But it's actually dealing with that particular thing where things are there in existence, but they haven't formed into a tree, you know what I'm saying, into nature's manifestation. So they're in disorder. Does that make sense?
Is that sort of like having an idea in your head and knowing that you have several pieces to a puzzle that you need to.
That's right. That's right. You formulate it exactly. So it's in disorder. When they say get your mind in order, do you know what I mean? Because it's chaotic. It's not that it's, how can I put it, a thing of where it's gonna kill you, but it's gonna be a thing where you're trying to just bring it into focus. Do you know what I mean? Once you bring it to focus, the manifestation takes place. You see what I'm saying? So these were all just really principles, you know what I mean, existing in the mental. Because that's where we existed in. And when we existed in the mental, we were able to manipulate the elements and the cosmic elements in the mental to bring it into the manifestation, into the physical. You see what I'm saying? But one precedes the other, or there's chaos in one universe at one time. That's why I'm trying to bring out existence, how and why. In there, it explains, oh gosh, I'm putting anything up. Right, existence and why. Actually, we might have it up.
The truth. There we go.
Is it? Do we have it upstairs, Amar? Existence and why? Oh, that's right. Yeah, see if I think we do have it up there. Just bring it up. Is everyone on Clubhouse and Zoom hearing all right? Because we don't have it. Okay, sorry. Should be here. Just find it a second. Just zoom past this a bit. Just bear with me while I found the page. There you go. Right, so from somewhere says the universe. So okay, here you go. So verse 41 in existence, how and why. Actually, in fact, I'll start from 40. Verse 40, existence, how and why. Parts of nature exist as units. Okay, so if you look at the genes, for instance, genes are subnucleic acids that form to become your genes. Yeah. So these are units. So what the master is trying to do is the same reflection or the replica of the universe is also what's going on inside you. Do you see what I'm saying? So the parts of nature exist as units or universes, while other parts exist in chaos, dark energy, which is the chaos, and others are calm, dark matter. That's why when scientists, just to add a little bit on the side, scientists say, we don't understand dark matter, we don't understand dark energy. You're looking at dark energy and dark matter every day when you go to work and you see us as Nugaru. We are dark matter and dark energy. We are the manifestation of what the youth lot are trying to tap into. You see what I'm saying? Yeah? So this dark man, this dark energy, the calmness part of it is linked into your melanin, because that's the manifestation of dark energy. That's what melanin is dark matter in you, because you are the universe. And the reason why you're calm is because melanin is a civilizing molecule. It calms you down. It keeps you sedated. It keeps you, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. These are the things they're trying to find out there when we're the real deal. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So verse 41. So in fact, the past that existed as multiverses created universes or a unit in existence, meaning action is movement in and from stillness. I'll read that again. So meaning action, like you were saying about before action, before you when you think a thought, then you put it into action. Yeah, so action is in movement. So something's moving in that darkness, which is birthed, and that's when light is birthed in darkness. So that's why things manifest from darkness into the light. You understand? Yeah, so movement in from stillness and disturbs the calmness, dark matter, thus giving birth to chaos, dark energy. Okay? Yeah, dark energy, when that dark energy is expanded into what's known as the electromagnetic frequency, you have the shortest wavelength, which is known as the electromagnetic wavelength. The shortest part is what we see with our eyes, which is light. You see what I'm saying? But the full spectrum of light is from electric all the way to what's it called? Ultraviolet. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole manifestation. So that's dark energy. Okay? Right. So in fact, black or dark, darkness is calm, and light, white, bright is chaos. So out of darkness was light created, or out of calm chaos was in and is born. In other words, order and disorder exist, and out of one comes forth the other. So in fact, they exist at the same time before they exist in the same place as dark matter and dark energy. Because once you think of what you wish to make or create it, or create, should I say, make or create, it exists in your mind. Then that is in a state of time existence. or the moment you come up with the idea, it began to exist in time from that first thought of it, yet not in space or matter as of yet. So it existed in time because now you're thinking about it. But then once you shape or fashion, make great or birth the thing, now it creates its own place or space, like the chair you're sitting on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? As a baby forms, so he goes into like how he relates to child, but he can still relate it to other things, you know what I'm saying, other concepts and stuff. So in ancient Tamaray, our ancestors, we gave concepts and ideas which linked into the universe and how the universe grows, etc. So we always use concept that we could relate to. See what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's Nun, Tat, and Nun. The primordial and the chaos and the non-chaos. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Anti-configure. Any of us on Zoom, Clubhouse, want to pose a question?
Yeah, I got a question. You hear me, brother?
I can hear you very well, Zamal. Can you hear us?
Yeah, Rahubat, Musa.
Rahubat.
So I was gonna tap in with some of the stuff you just said right now. You said
All
where
right.
the melanin is what calms us down, supposed to
Sure.
relax us.
Sure.
So help me understand, like, because I realize like during the summertime when it's really hot, a lot of our Natharans start acting up in a wild way.
Yeah,
If you get what I'm
they
saying.
Buckeye. That's right. Yeah.
So how's that? How's that affecting them?
Okay.
How's the sun affecting them at that time of the year?
Okay. Simply put, your melanin can become toxic. And the way it becomes toxic is by way of the foods, the unnatural foods that we consume. So what melanin tends to do, it can bind other molecular structures into its own. Do you see what I'm saying? And when it does that, if you're eating junk food, sugar, you know what I mean, drinking the good old, what's it called? Red Bull and all those other things that stimulate you, okay,
Yeah.
what it's doing is polluting the actual melanin. And once the melanin is polluted, when it is a hot day, the actual process that your melanin is supposed to be doing, it's now struggling with because it's now become polluted. So hence, black people are complaining it's hot. And you're like, why are you complaining it's hot? Do you get what I'm saying? because the melanin becomes so polluted that it clogs their pores, etc. And they no longer, their pores are no longer breathing. And when you're not breathing, you're not perspiring or expiring properly, okay, you buck out, you go wild, you start to complain. You have other ailments that come off of that because now your melanin has become polluted. And this can be found actually in the holy tablets. There's a part section in there where he breaks that all down about the pollution of your melanin and also what actual vitamins. This can be found in a book written by Dr. Wu-Nuwaup, The A to Z of Vitamins. And he explains that vitamin B cleans your melanin. Yeah, so that's something that you can actually research on. And he's always recommended Dr. Wu-Nuwaup anyway. So, you know, that's one of our esteemed scientists and scholars.
What's his name? Could you spell that out for me so I can look him up?
It's a he, so it's a she, Dr. Jewel, as in Jewel of the Nile, and then Pukrum, as in P-O-O, I think K-R-U-M, Pukrum.
Okay, Tauta.
Antakatira Fozema. Okay, does anyone else have a question? As the light shines the darkness, rogue gnosis, taking my thoughts captive, transforming the shadow. Okay, these are just comments on there. Being light-skinned, most of my melanin is in my ankles, and I've noticed this thing. I'm glad you brought that to my attention. Wawe, Dirk Mitchell, tap for that. Appreciate your input, everybody. Yeah, so any other questions before we carry on? Now what? Wawe, proceed.
Thank you. I'm starting from verse 28 again. 28. This is how all nature works, and all in the universe are under the will of nature. 29. Nature is in control of your fate, involuntary, or that which will happen. You're just a part of all as parpot, the all. Verse 30, the all is, all, I am, exist. 31, the time is now, 9 o'clock, exist. Verse 32, and there are two 9 o'clocks, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. 33, so even time has become dual or has its opposites in nature. 34, and nature is clear, an empathetic matter of working with time in circles. Verse 35, in this universe, it is 46,000 year cycles or 24,000 year cycle year related to the 24,000 human chromosomes and the circumference of the Kawak Tahach planet Earth, 24,000 miles and the equinox. Verse 36, 24,000 years of two 12,000 year time zones of the sun crossing the equator, making night and day of equal length in all parts of the earth. Verse 37, so Pot, all, is in time, linked to time and energy. Verse 38, the birth and death in order to renew energies and powers for producing new and young universes or children, you. Verse 39, who is the supreme being, nature unlimited in every way as part of all as the all is, I am. 40, as omniverse, you are all space without need of movement or growth. Verse 41, as multiverses, you are all things with movement and growth. 42, as triverses, you are reaction with each other and become places. Verse 43, as dual verses, you are separated into opposites and becoming opposing places. 44, as universes, you are a point in space, time and material. 45, and as such are in fact all time during your existence of countless supreme beings of nature, once in tune with your tone. 46, do not, as those of us who have been fooled, take nothing as something and call it by a name such as God, Yahweh, Jah, or Allah. 47, do not accept anything as unseen powers. 48, do not accept something as one. 49, do not worship what other races call divine, call supreme beings, or call your creator without confirmation. I'll read that again, verse 49. Do not worship what other races call divine, call supreme beings, or call your creator without confirmation. Verse 50. This you know, that you exist. 51. This you realize, that you're real. 52. This you must accept, that you are something or the sum of a thing. 53. This you know, you were born of a mother's Raham womb. 54. This you know, you're reading this right now, and with that, you encompass time, space, and material existence. 55. This you know, that you feel by contact, that you see by contact, that you hear by contact, and that you smell by contact. Verse 56. Contact is confirmation of existence. Once anything made contact with you, you then can confirm its existence. 57. All things in existence are about you. That is, equally away from you. 58. making you the center of all things.
Just pause it a second, because I was just reading something, which when you touched on the duality, and this is also many, like I said, a lot of our ancestors, when they wrote in the mystery systems, they used to always give it as a story. So your Horus and Seth, or Satak and Ha, or Osiris and Satak, or Ra versus Apophis, they always gave a symbology in a story form. You see what I'm saying? For you to grasp the concept, because modern day scientists will give you the electron, the proton, etc. But I'm just going to read something from the modern aspect of it and how it links into our ancient stories of how we depicted what natural nature was doing. So verse 90 in the book Egyptian Ontology or Mythology, from the smallest bits of reality, the proton and electron, to organize life and human beings, male and female, there's a constant rhythm of duality in natural everyday life. Verse 91, it is how the physical world functions, animate as well as inanimate. The proton attracts the electron to create a physical reality. The male and female of all life, animal life, are attracted to each other to ensure the continuance of life. Duality is contained within the absolute unity from the line to the closed circle. Yeah, so the master used to explain that you were a dot, or there was a dot and the dot became a line and then the line became a circle. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's literally explaining to you how the universe came into being. Do you know what I mean? And we depict that as Nun, Nun, Tet, He, Hetet, Kek, Tet, etc. And these are stories about literally what's happening in the universe, the creation story, you know. So going on to from that line says, no beginning, no ending, unless the cycles or circle of life is broken. Power of the number 2 conflict. So in ancient Egypt, you see our number system is many meanings and symbols as shown. And so it goes on to explain about the stars, the 5-pointed star, the crescent, etc. Okay, but there's a part I'm going to jump to. So it was all, verse 96, it was all symbols and math relating to natural laws of nature, sound and movement, all from and in all. They each have the sun, star and moon. This is talking about the star, sun and moon concept, crescent. Number 1 is a sound as well as amount in space and time as material. So we start with Ra, Reye, Roy, rays of the sun. And ray is the point, not the actual light. Yeah, the rays of energy depart the sun 93 million miles away. Once he finds his children, the Negroids, blacks, the rays hit their melanin dark skin and enters inside their black body and illuminates. This is why we are called in ancient time the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. This does not happen to other races or sub-races. Okay, so that's just jumping to something else. Then there's also, actually, come on, let me bring it up on the board so you can see once, so the rest can, let me share this screen. Sorry, I've been selfish, not sharing. 1 second, share the screen. For those who have it, read along. For those who don't have it, have a look at the screen behind you. Okay, can that be seen? Okay, can everyone see that? Okay. Sorry, I have to probably stand this way a bit. Okay, so you see the image and how the number system, come on, move out the way. Close that second, right. So you can see the number system coming from the principle of the black dot, yeah? So you have the number 9, which is to the far left, and the 9 ball is the sun. So this is a depiction of the sun. And then from that depiction of the number 9 with the intersections, you have the different number systems. Okay, so each number system represented a particular principle. You with me? And these principles, they moved in certain ways. Like You could have Re, Atum, Nun that moved, but being that there were principles, there were also tones and sounds and vibrations, which were formulas. So if you knew how to pronounce these tones and these formulas and connect them, just what I'm saying, you are manifesting something, or you're healing something, or you're doing something in nature, which is invoking these principles, these energies. This is science, yeah. That's what I said. That's why I said the scientists, they're now delving into what we knew, the ancients knew from a long time ago. You know, so that's why I said that earlier. When you're asking who built this, who did that, who's this, how did the dark energy come about? You're standing in front of the manifestation of all of what you're trying to study. We are those things. You see what I'm saying? And then going back to your question regarding what's it called? You asked about the will. Yeah, you asked about will, didn't you? So yeah, there's a part in here also. Let me just move I can't see my finger. One second, just bear with me. I'll move this out of the way. Okay. So the story that you hear about Asar and Satuk having a fight, for instance, that's the actual duality principle happening in you. Okay, it's those two natures that it's a principle of nature where you're fighting one side against the other in order for you to make what the outcome is going to be, which will be your decision. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's when you're talking about the will and the decision to do something, etc. These are the principles that our ancestors taught in. Do you know what I mean? So you have the concept of Horus and Satuk. That battle is that battle that's actually inside you. For you to then make it, I'll read it to you. You'll probably get more of a. So the one person, brother, spiritual father to the other, was a symbol of Geb to Re, all in all, or each out of the other, yet the same root. Now you see single into dual or duality, two, as in Atum and Amun, male factors. You can understand it as what's called cause to effect. Darkness, black is calm, not mad at oneself, and white is light is chaos, conflict by effect. Thus, something or someone to get angry with or at. Both Satuk and Ha are good by nature until a reason was born. In each to have conflict of the gods. Yeah, that conflict now resides in you. Do you see what I'm saying? Where you now have to make a decision, but that decision is based off of you fighting, just saying, and you have a war inside you. And that you have to reason it out. Do you see what I'm saying? For it to make sense. Yeah. As far as Satuk was concerned, because his brother Asar was dead, then his sister-in-law, so this is going about the fight between the two, the conflict between the two of them. But that raging conflict is happening inside you. So where should I read it from now? You're all so very hard to affect other people in some way. If they disagree with you or what you have to offer, does that make you or them evil? Not at all. That is merely an event created out of itself. And as thoughts and ideas exist purely on a spiritual abode, from mental to mind, which becomes mine, or my thoughts or thinking, it is open to other spirit forces that may come in on that vibration and take control of the situation to cause conflict, feeding the forces. That is because of number 3, or the third personal being, influence that which exists as indelible association between cause and effect, which as a single force can have effect of the two. Yeah, so something external or a vibration that's put out there because of your feelings or your thoughts, a being or a relative can feed off of that and cause the third Do you see what I'm saying? From the first, from the two aspects of you, and they can cause an outcome. You see what I'm saying? That's the cause and effect taking place. You have a question? Go on.
So, I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly. So, you're saying that because it was talking about the emotion of the white being of chaos.
Yeah.
So, and then the other side. So I'm trying to understand because they gave the example of like when somebody's angry, then somebody can come onto that vibration and basically take over. So
Not necessarily angry, just your emotion.
yeah, the emotion of it.
Yeah.
So does that not happen on also the other side of that retrograde? Because I know we always talk about, okay, when somebody's, feels the emotion of anger, right?
Emotional love, for instance. Yeah, the emotional love can get to the point where you become suffocating, and then you become out of that suffocation of the love and the desire can also lead to you hurting that person or killing that person because you love them so much. Is that what you're talking about? Because it's called zealous, being jealousy. That's jealousy. You see what I'm saying? Because you can have extremes, can't you? You can have love for someone, but then you can become jealous and the desire, etc., which it turns from love now to become, that's the word, obsession.
Or even like just to add, even like a mother and their sons.
Exactly, yeah.
That mother could be overbearing.
Overbearing, yeah. So these, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's about leading that balance. Yeah.
But just to latch on, because I think this feeds into what we discussed last week of the ancestors and hearing or knowing your own voice. And this is understanding when you have these emotions, where does it come from, who may be at play, and in that context, it's useful to understand and know who your ancestors are, your mom, dad, grandmother, grandfather, etc., so that you can say, okay, well, maybe I'm feeling for a drink tonight because maybe it's my dad who fancies a drink, or I'm wanting this or that. So then when you know your own voice and there's a voice say, no, you don't, then you can say, thank you, Dad, tonight's not tonight. I'm not going to indulge you, as it were. And in that sense, you're doing the reasoning, thinking about it, understanding it, and making that decision, which may have a good or not so good
outcome.
result.
Exactly. And let me just read on to verse 13, because it may answer. Also, this can be an action, emotion, and event. So through namus, prayer, and ranum, chanting, you can channel and direct positive thinking. So while you're chanting this, say like you're gonna be in a situation, yeah, and if you apply the prayer and the chant, whether it's mentally or externally, and you're directing an energy, it's all about the energy that you're putting into that intent. Do you see what I'm saying? What is going to become the outcome? Do you want the outcome to be a positive one, or you're going to be gonna do something to this brother? Do you get what I'm saying? But because it's the fact that you want a positive thinking and the outcome, which can affect the outcome on both the spiritual and the physical abode. Yeah. Again, a single action or third action affecting the outcome of two other causes change the course of future events. So we knew this power. We knew that we could change future events. We knew all of these kind of things. So when we are in a situation where we feel we're at loss, or we feel we have no power, do you get what I'm saying? It's best to then recoil back and then do the chants, do your meditation, focus your energy, because that energy then will have a positive outcome. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's all based on your will, the decision to swing one way or the other. Yeah. I hope that helps. Okay. All right. And I'll just read a little bit more. We ancient Egyptians took control of these powers as three forces: Hu, Hika, and Sia. Those were tones of power, that the principles of them, the power of positive thinking, okay, and its effect on the physical world and living things. To think and direct actions can be successful or symbol inscriptions. We use Hika'ah powers in the form of art, jewels, amulets, and prayer beads. We were wearing them all the time in the form of signs and symbol seals. And if given a personal seal by the Nataru, it became us and like to his soul. Okay. In ancient Egypt, Hikata is an art we depended on. This relationship and power is very real. We Ranuma chanted to break spells and open gates to the other worlds of time and space, calling out our, or Da'ut, it says here, which became Da'ut, prayer, calling. And in ancient Egypt, Da'ut, the underworld, from which is called out your confessions. So it means voice, sound, tone, supplications, Hikata. So you are utilizing Hikata each time you're calling on your ancestors and you're invoking them to come and protect you in your world and in your life. Okay. That's how powerful it is. You know, don't mess with him. Yeah.
Sorry, could you just expand on Sia?
Sia, I think it does go into does it mention Sia here? Because Sia is see. Doesn't really go into Sia, but I do know it, I just can't remember where I read it. Because one was the calling and another one is something else. I think Hikata is the amulets and Sia is the calling, is the actual utterances. Just what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I'm right, that's what it is. Yeah, who he can see. I'm sure Sia was in fact, I think it's in the Black Book. It explains what Sia does. I'm pretty sure it's that utterance. Yeah. Okay, any more questions before we jump back onto, I think there's a few in the chat. Rahubat is grateful to be here. Rob, I had a visual that woke me up and right before my alarm. Is this the son of soul coming back to my body? Okay, we'll jump to these questions because we want to try and flow through the book. What if you confronted by a grown man, Robot, hell, one lower man, you can be heard in the good. It's the good of Caucasian from the Pleiadian. Okay, so we'll jump back to these questions. If you want to continue, correct?
Yep. Right. Going back from 55. This you know, that you feel by contact, you see by contact, that you hear by contact, and that you smell by contact. 56. Contact is confirmation of existence. Once anything made contact with you, you then can confirm its existence. 57. All things in existence are about you. That is, equally away from you. 58. Making you the center of all things. 59. As such, you're the one God they speak of in their religions. 60. Each will say they believe in one God, or they will say there is no God but Allah. So have no other gods beside him. 61. Not even hearing what they are all really saying, which is the choice of which God or God, and devil, Satan, Satan. 62. Yet they make an equal to their one God, Allah, by the very statement. 63. Never to ungod, being they have the ability to make the choice to reject them. 64. Yet the God or Allah or Jah or Yahweh, El, that you cannot reject or make an equal to is you alone. 65. You are unique, even if you have an identical twin. 66. Time makes you both unique, which one came into this physical world first, and that moment makes you unique. 67. So you are the one true unique God, and as such, all things look at your, apologies. 68. Things surround you, and you choose by will to which or whom you will gravitate or accept. 69. Know also that you are opposites. 70. There are other beings who've come to this world from other worlds, much, much older than this world. 71. The good and others not good. 72. Many worship them as their gods, and they fight and war to rule this planet as they did others. 73. Now it's by chance someone or something bumps into you, not your will or choice. Contact again confirms you as a being. 74. By being there, which is you is here, and you become here to them by you being there. 75. Nothing would exist if you did not exist. 76. That is to you. 77. All things came into existence with you, even you. 78. So you're the supreme being, Papaut, the all. 79. You make reality real in your own world of choice, and the moment you give that up by faith versus fact in those other beings from other worlds, you change your divine fate as a God being and become a devil being, that is, attempting to alter fate as it is and will be. 80. To make fake fruit is a devil. 81. To implant a fake human heart or replace the human heart with animal or machine is devil or diverting from nature's divine plan. 82. Altering fate is not a new fate. It is a corruption of nature's natural order. 83. Saying a dying species is not a noble act. Or, pardon, 83. Saving a dying species is not a noble act. 84. It is an interference with nature's natural order. 85. To take a wild creature, such as a wolf or canine, and transform it into a pet is a violation of that nature's natural nature. 86. Things that are naturally the way nature plans for time, each and only a devil or evil will attempt to alter nature's plan, called fate versus faith, being real versus belief. 87. You are part of Paut, all. Paut, all is, you are. 88. All does, you do. 89. Are you ever alone? Not at all. You are with yourself at all times. 90. How? Because you know you exist, and that separates you into beings, physical and spiritual, at the same center at all times. 91. What you are is not as important as who you are, because what you are is, in fact, who you are. 92. When you accept or convert to a religion, that is to say, it is not what you are by nature. Mitzvah, baptism, shahada is conversion or acceptance, so it's not natural by nature. 93. When you are is not as important as where you are. 94. Where you are, Papaut, the all. 95. Where you are, the center of Paut, all, and all things around you. Around is round, orb, ball, circle of the universe. 96. So it is in nature, science, and even your anatomy as you have a circulatory system. 97. It's a symbol of order and perfection, the circle in all of nature in general, and you are the spot in its center. 98. So you are the one supreme being in your own universe assumes the form and figures of a ball in the womb. 99. The fetus turns in a circle while in the womb as it manifests or manifestation called gestation period in the uterus during pregnancy, and gesture meaning movement in a circle as the universe, galaxy, and planets move around the sun. Just wanting to check at this point, do we have any questions? Any feedbacks on Zoom, Clubhouse? Question, otherwise good, change.
I think that was
Curtis. Did you
Curtis,
respond
yeah.
then?
Yeah, I think he just responded, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was a question on here on Zoom. That I think might be related to this question to class. Really, yeah, it's from Jackie. What's happening when someone gets a temper tantrum? I don't know, Jackie, if we answered that in the explanation regarding the situation and what's been manipulated in the situation. But if you're referring to a temper tantrum from a child's point of view, then obviously children are not in control of their mental faculties as of yet. So they don't have to really being able to, utilize their sound right reasoning. But if you're talking about an adult, well, that's a different matter. But yeah, if you could elaborate or if we've answered it, please let us know.
Adults.
Adults, yeah. Yeah, it's really the emotional outburst which is not being controlled. Are the book tablets available in audio book form? No, not of yet. We are working on it. We're working on something like that? Book on audio? Yeah, we're working on something at the moment, but yeah, but not right now. You can get on YouTube and other places, some brothers and sisters who've taken the time out to read, books on YouTube and other platforms, but it's not like like actually set thing that we do, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So regarding it's we're explaining about the emotions not being controlled by an adult, who have a emotional instability. That is the energy that's been basically channeled and expressed and not being able to controlled. So when you take an adult in that situation of where they're able to control their emotions or their mental faculties, it allows other beings to actually come and take over and influence the way they behave. So that's what's actually taking place because all it takes is for a short while, when I mean a short while, like seconds, for a being who has the same vibration to actually operate on your mental or your brain waves, and they can actually walk or use you for that split second of time and, walk into you. They can be called walk-ins, or they can actually walk into you and live and reside in you, which we refer to as resident. Yeah, so you can have a resident being that will reside in you, waiting for an opportunity. Just what I'm saying, they can mess up your love life, they can mess up your work, schedule, etc. They can turn you into, doing things to feed them. So you have to be very careful when, as an adult, when you go into a momentary temper, an uncontrolled temper. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Unless you want to add some more, my brother.
Well, I would probably say in layman's terms is do the inner work. If you're the adult and you discover that you have these moments of chaos, as it were, do the inner work and get to know your voice, because that's what it's about. And I think all of this that we teach in Wu-Sabat is to understand who you are to that point where you are one with self, mind and heart is coherent, and you raise a vibration. And when you are coherent, as it were, then you make better choices because you're informed, you know who you are, and you know what you've come to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Question about, can you please share the channel or name of person reading on YouTube, please? I don't know the exact, because I haven't really used it, but I've come across it. You just type in, yeah, I mean, we can look for it for you.
No, there's a sister that's done the sacred.
Yeah, the records of Tahuti, isn't it?
Tahuti.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. It's not a standard thing that we normally do. So, you find individual Sabians who will take the time out, just I'm saying, to spread Wu-Sabat in the way that they feel it will reach a wider audience. And sometimes they'll read from books. I mean, if you are looking for any type of reading now. We do study classes on various platforms. You can actually join the study class, and you can actually we read the books. You can read along as well if you want to, and then we can share the knowledge that way, and then you can actually take notes as well. So that's on normally on Thursdays, okay, from the hours of 7:30. Okay, we'll post a link. The previous link was posted. I don't know if you're in our chat rooms on Sabatia Kayat. If you're not, we can always post it when the next one is happening, which is every Thursday, 7:30. Okay, it's your first time here. Okay, Rahul, back to you, and thank you for joining. So, yeah, if you send, how are we gonna do it? Post your email in here. Post your email in here, and then we'll be able to grab it from here if you don't mind sharing your email, and then we can send you the link. Let me see if I can add it down. Is there another way? Is there a better way that we can do it, Zamal? If the sister posts is there a sister or brother to you?
Tourism, they can just select one of the admins and send it directly to them rather than sending it.
Yeah. But the person's not on our Kayat
No, I'm saying
forum.
on Zoom right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, wait, yeah, we can do it right now. Hold on a
So
second.
directly to an individual as opposed to posting it to the all.
Yeah. If you send it to myself, private message me. And then we can I should be able to then add you because I'm part of the admin on Kayat. Okay, so if you just send me a message on private chat or something. But in any event, we can try and get you, on there, and then you can access our study classes. You can listen to the books being read. Okay. All right. Well, wait. What's the other question? I'm sure there's a few questions on Zoom, and then we'll jump back to the reading. You know that?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
brilliant. Yeah.
Right. So the first one is from Jackie. Is the god of the Caucasian from the Pleiades or the Anunnakis? Okay. Want to say that? It's all over to you.
The short answer is the Pleiadians. If is both,
Yeah.
right? So there we go.
Yeah, it is both, but talk a bit more. Okay, no, it is both. The Pleiadians and Anunnaki were both orchestrated in producing the Caucasian race, because the Caucasian race are actually your Adamite story that you read about in the Genesis. The book of Genesis is actually referring to them that were created, okay, as the Adamites, and then further down became your Caucasians, because the reason why the word is used in the first place to describe their racial origin is because the person or the tribe that was afflicted with a particular genetic disorder moved from the lowlands, okay, to the higher lands or higher mountainous region. And the mountainous region that they moved to was known as the Caucasus. Yeah, the Caucasus Mountains. So that name became applied to the tribes that actually moved from the lower lands to the higher lands of the Caucasus Mountains, and that name became the Caucasians, and now they became a race. But really and truly, the race, okay, is coming from the graftation of your Adamites, and later on a genetic defect took place where a child was born. I won't get into all the specifics, but an individual was born who had a genetic disposition and the genetic traits that didn't allow him to live under the sun. And because of that, the sun affected him, and he moved his family into the higher mountain region where it was cooler. Okay, so I'm going to keep it short unless you probe further and want to know more. But essentially, that's what produced your Caucasian race. And as you've asked the question about the Pleiadians and Anunnaki, they were responsible for the making of the Adamite race, and then further on becoming the Caucasian race because of the mixture that took place in the mountains. Okay, but as I said, you can probe further if you want. Do other races raise their frequency in the same way as the Nuwaupians? I couldn't answer that for you. There are things that the Palladians will teach their children, but there are specific ones who are agreeable, and there's specific ones who are disagreeable to the point where they're evil. So in each race, galactical existence or galactical people that live in the universes, there's always going to be agreeable and disagreeable, positive and negative. You can't get rid of that. That's, as we were teaching in the science of the all expanding, is that you can't, there's one without the other. So they always will exist. So you have disagreeable ones who came to this planet and they were responsible for making a particular race known as the Adamite race. And then because of that genetic defect, as I mentioned, and mixing it with other creatures on the planet, that produced your Caucasian race, who now obviously run the planet, and they were given a certain amount of time to run the planet. Okay, so in the terms of raising their frequency, they've been created as a food source and as workers and as slaves. So it was intentionally and purposely done to keep them subdued. Now, some of the agreeable ones in their race, they are trying to raise their vibration. So you get, like, on some websites you may find, or even on YouTube, find things like star seeds, people from Pleiades and other places like that, you know what I'm saying? So you have ones amongst them who are teaching about their own and telling them to also raise their frequency or raise their vibration. Okay, so that you can find in other races. All right. Second question from Jackie: is the Mesopotamia language an ancient language, and is it spoken by any other? Yeah, Mesopotamia is an ancient language. That was the language that we were speaking, and it is spoken by others on other planets. That's what the master teachers explained to us. It's spoken in other planets. I mean, really and truly, if you just look at Earth, okay, you can find Spanish, not just in, in Spain. Spanish can be spoken in now Mexico and other regions of the world. So if you look at it on a larger level, on a greater scope, extraterrestrials have been doing this, where they're moving from planet to planet, and when they civilize and they educate the ones that they've civilized or taught, they also give them a language. So that language is spoken in other places as well in the universe. Okay. Greetings, my brother. And iPhone question is, why is Set a deity, and what would Papawut, and would Papawut be pleased? Okay, Papawut is not a person, it's not a place, and it's not a thing. Okay, Papawut is, when from reading from At All Expanding, all is. Okay, all is all those things, you know what I'm saying? And all those things exist within all. So it's not a person that adjudicates whether you're agreeable or disagreeable, because those principles exist in Papawut. Okay, Set is a deity, not for the principle of that he was a wicked or evil being, as we were explaining earlier, that he was a being that just opposed, okay, what was taking place. So there was a conflict because of his opposing something. You with me? But these are all principles that are within us, which we call our positive and negative side, or agreeable and disagreeable side. So it's not necessarily like he was a evil being, which the Europeans have depicted about Horus and Set having a fight, and then Set did this or killed his brother. It's a symbolic story, okay, of natures.
All right.
Okay.
It's related to that question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna throw a can of worms now, yeah?
Go ahead.
So,
like kind of worms.
I read, I believe it's Osur, Aset, Satuk, Habitat. Am I saying that right?
Okay, so you got Ha,
Yeah,
Ashashtat, or
Yeah.
as Isis. Let's keep it to the
Yeah, yeah.
Horus, Isis, Set, and Osiris.
Yes, but
Yeah.
there's a book that the master teacher wrote.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I follow. Right. Go on.
Right. So going in to break that down, and this goes to the question and that's been asked and what we were talking about before about these deities representing principles in nature.
Yeah.
So the master teacher explained why Set was angry and ended up killing Osa. Now the act was, let me get this right, Isis convinced
Her sister.
her sister to lie down with
Osiris.
Why?
Okay, so this goes into your Genesis story, but we keep it with our story. Ashashtat couldn't bear. So she knew that if she didn't have an heir to the throne, you with me, that Osiris would lose the rulership. Do you see what I'm saying? If there was no heir to the throne. So she conspired with her sister because they were twins, okay, to sleep with her brother. I mean, Osiris.
Yeah.
And that's how she conceived, what's his name? Anpu.
Anpu, okay.
Yeah. So Nababta conceived Anpu.
Yeah.
Then obviously when Osiris was dismembered and they couldn't perform the act, they had to go to the Min priesthood. And that's when they were able to utilize the semen from Osiris that was frozen. And then they did a genetic experimentation, which is now known as artificial insemination. Okay. And it was artificially inseminated into Ashashtat, Isis.
Yeah.
And then Min performed the ritual to give birth to the being that was far away. That's what Horus means, Har. The spirit of far away which comes to earth. So his essence was not of this realm. Do you see what I'm saying? But it was a spiritual, I wouldn't say spiritual, but it was like it was a genetic act which brought in the spiritual essence of Horus into this realm. And then Isis mounted the phallus of Min to produce Horus. But it was the father's semen, Osiris's semen that was used, or frozen semen, or what they call cryogenics.
Okay, so
that was the story behind it.
The Min dynasty, did you say?
No, Min priesthood.
Priesthood.
Yeah, priesthood. They were,
yeah.
Let's put it this way, they were your botanists, your biologists, your this. So when you're in that order, you were taught by the ancient ones, the gods, of how to do certain things, certain rituals. So they were a priesthood that knew the sciences of, if you do such and such, you bring, remember in the book, I think you were asking a question about Thedi, Tahuti, etc., and how they had to seek Thedi's assistance in order to guide them of what to do. Do you see what I'm saying? To produce Horus. Yeah. So Har means far away, because his essence, his spiritual essence, was from the Orion star system. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So it's a spiritual incarnation, but his father's DNA was used in that spiritual incarnation. So Har became his father, basically. You know what I mean? And then he was born in order to rule, so that Set couldn't rule. Or Satok couldn't rule. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so when Har had his first fight with Set, am I right to say that he lost?
Yes, because I think he had to then seek assistance from Reye or something. I can't remember who he had to seek assistance from.
I feel like it's Tahuti or
in order to then be taught what to do, because he went to hide. That's right, he lost. But again, there's symbolism behind that. So it's not literal. So the symbolism is talking about the principle of the sun and the moon and how it sets. Is the war between those two. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's the master hasn't gone into full detail, but there is symbolism, and the principle is talking about the natural forces of nature, which is the sun and the moon, and how they one comes after the other dies. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think Satuk would have represented the moon, and Haru would have represented the sun. So when the sun dies or goes under the waters, this is where your whole Jesus concept come from, where Jesus rose and died. Do you see what I'm saying? It's talking about Horus rising, horizon. Do you see what I'm saying? These are symbolic stories. You with me? And the connection to the reality of what happened, the master really hasn't gone into much detail about. Okay, yeah.
That's more than enough anyway.
All right, contact calculator 4. Okay, what's happening when someone gets, we read that? I think that's it, innit?
Yeah,
I saw
I think
the
that's it.
questions. Okay, any more questions before we move on? In the chat, is the God, oh, we have read that one. Yeah, it can be heard. So let's just go to Clubhouse. We take your phone. Sorry, Clubhouse. I hope you can be heard, because we seem to lose you sometimes. Can I be heard on Clubhouse still? Just anybody say yay or nay? All right, tell chat. Okay, tell chat. Okay, right. Gonna continue?
Yes.
Right.
And continuing from verse 100. This universe, out of a dual verse as a cell, then multiplies over and over to become organs which grow. 101. Yet ever moving in a circle, and the ka, spirit, itself is an orb. 102. Every person, place, and thing exists on circles, colors, and sounds. 103. Each being's own circle with all things around them has seasons, limitations, and non-limitations. 104. So when a person stops growing, that is a limitational being. 105. When a person thinks, that is unlimited, how far one can imagine. 106. Limitational or limited you is why you physically die. 107. That is the reason why physical living beings stop growing, although they still have the access to the same nutriments as before. The growth does not slow down, it just stops. 108. You stop growing one day, that exact moment. 109. When an organism reaches its full strength of the center, being spiritually outward from the point of existence. 110. It is your own divine formula, circle, and it stops growing because it has reached the limits to which the formula can expand without becoming something else or ceasing to exist as a specific entity or living organism. 111. Once a being's DNA is tampered with in the grafting process as the kakasu, living filth, and others, nature's plan is disrupted and you break the true circle, and as a result, all kinds of deformed are born. 112. To mix DNA in genetic experiments will result in monstrous humans, beasts, demons, and devils. Not only the body, yet their mind are also mixed, human and beast. 113. So they become serial killers, warmongers, even hunters, just to satisfy the beast within. 114. And they use religion to tame and train the beast in people to act civil. 115. Some will accept civilization, while others cannot. 116. Some love flesh and blood, so much they try to make it look normal to kill, cut up an animal and eat it. 117. Or buy a dead animal in the market, or go to a restaurant and order dead animal flesh cooked. 118. Some ask for it raw, and some still eat humans. 119. It's all in the genes from tampering with DNA 6,000 years ago. 120. 9,000 years ago, and crossbreeding hybrids, animals, and man even longer. 121. This transforms supreme beings to human beings, to human, to man, to mammal, to beast, called the circle of life and death. 122. As the face of the clock is originally circular and the hands move around future time clockwise, and the past would be counterclockwise, clock or time-wise equals wiseness, wisdom. 123. It all amounts to being a part of all. 124. Your mother's alive, your father's alive. They create in their living flesh bodies as living supreme beings. Ath, ovum, and manan, sperm. Living cells to create or birth a living being. 125. Birth a living being, they are creators, makers and fashioners, they are gods and goddesses. They do procreate. 126. Each stepped close to become one flesh in the womb. 127. It's not this all the working of a supreme nature, and if allowed to stay in order, all will turn out perfect. 128. If tampered with, you will be deformed creatures mentally and physically. 129. Once born and grown or growing, if one or the other son or daughter exchange body fluids with a deformed DNA person, the living cells enter the inner realm and can cause chaos and seek to rule their Chat body and their Zal'an mind, steal their choice or will. 130. And implant, change, or remove the person off their own center. 131. They become like the person of whom they exchange bodily fluids. 132. When a female takes on more than 4 mates in her lifetime, she becomes out of control. 133. So, DNA, alternate tones, change the station of their own body frequency and thereby cut them off from their ancestors' advice. 134. They link to the divine all in all. 135. Their own 29 inner voices of their family bloodline's guidance becomes static, noise, or detonation of or off resonance. 136. Indecisiveness opens the gateway for those inner voices to decide for you. 137. Some will start to hear voices, chatter, whispers, laughing, murmuring, and will lose track of their own thoughts, become insane or out of their own mind. 138. Not in control of sound right reasoning.
Also, it's a question about the principle of rhythm. Tio, you have a question, the principle of rhythm, and Tio wants to know, what are you describing? So, you know, take that. Can you give us go back to where was that read in the book, Tio? Or is that a question you're asking?
I think that's a different question. But,
I mean, the principle of rhythm, what are you describing? What essentially principle of rhythm is anything to do with a backward and forward, to and fro motion. Okay, so rhythm exists in a sense that you can sway from one extreme to the other. That's a form of rhythm. Okay. In your nature, for instance, you can choose to be agreeable one time, you can choose to be disagreeable another time. You can be helpful one time, you can also. So when you describe the sun and moon, okay.
no, I think that was.
Oh, right. Is that something I read from?
Yeah, you were speaking about it.
Okay, it's
Animating,
yeah, okay. It's a literally the principle of rhythm is dealing with natural nature's rhythm. So, you know, you have, for instance, the tidal waves. Okay, you have the sun, so the moon, when the moon starts to appear to rise or appear in the sky, okay, the gravitational force of the moon pulls the tide. You with me? So that's a form of rhythm. Nature's other rhythm is streams when they meander through, you know what I mean, and cut their way through and cause their way to the sea. So that's a form of rhythm. You have rhythm in nature where there's a, you know, a season where they procreate exactly cycles. So that's exactly what we're referring to, yeah. Okay, so those rhythms can also happen inside you when the brother was talking about the circulatory system. You have the respiratory system, okay, you have the circulatory system. Even in your own body, you have your circadian rhythm, okay, where the time when you sleep and the time when you wake, and in between that, there's cycles as well that's taking place, appropriation, assimilation, all of that. These are all rhythms of natural nature. You with me? This thing got taken into religion as good and bad. Like, you know what I mean? So you're actually talking about just principles in nature. I hope, yeah, so that answers. Okay, I hope that's answered your question. So yeah, you're welcome. Antat atira, as we say in our language. There you go. Okay, my brother, go ahead.
Right.
Oh, you have a
yeah.
question, sorry.
Samantha?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you were talking about the insanity situation, I understand the concept of how it can go about becoming insane because of the mixture of the DNA and different voices and stuff like that. But considering the mind itself has different mechanisms in place to prevent the mind from going into insanity, for example, through dreams, how does all of that then bypass the mechanism for the mechanism to then fail to make us insane?
Okay. Go ahead.
You go first.
Mechanistic things that take place is more the brain. So when you talk about dreams, for instance, the brain uses dreams in order to dump things that has happened in the day, during the course of the day. Okay, so now when you're going to the mind and you're saying the mechanics of the mind, your mind, remember, it's not yours. It's a field of energy. Do you understand? You say it's my mind because of your individuality while you exist, but really and truly, it's a field of energy where beings reside in. Do you understand? Your ancestors and beings can tap into that and place a thought, and that thought grows in that field of energy known as the mind. Okay.
So if the mind's not yours, it's simply a field, like a playing field,
Yeah,
essentially,
that's right.
then where do you come into place in that? Are you just
Because you're linked to
element
it.
to the
Exactly. You're
field?
linked to the mind, the mental. So the mental, the mind, and then my own mind. Do you see what I'm saying? So basically, when you say mind, yeah, look at it as an acronym. My individuality. You understand? So my individuality is because you are tapped into the mental. Everyone is tapped into the mental. However, based on your emotional energy, you then bring that thought to you, and then it becomes mine. Yeah, you understand? So this is what's taking place in the mechanics of the mind. You hear me? And it can be agreeable, disagreeable, and then obviously is how now the decision will to act it out, which will cause an outcome.
Consequences.
Or consequences, yeah, and consequences.
That concept of out of my mind is just basically you saying you are out of what you perceive as your identity. Gee, man. That's wicked.
Because that's what it is. You're out. You're no longer you've lost your identity, isn't it? When you're out of your mind. Do you get what I'm saying? Your identity is scrambled because your DNA has become scrambled. And this is why when we go into our trauma as people of Nagaru origin from Africa, etc., the trauma is because we no longer have what? An identity. It's scrambled. The DNA is scrambled, and the DNA is linked to the mind. So this job, what what they've done to us, but it's not, you can't say they as in it's their fault. They are also being tapped into and controlled by way of extraterrestrials who are using them as their what's the word? Puppets, yeah, agents, etc. You see what I'm saying? Police, yeah, the Pleiadians, the Anunnaki, they're using them on this realm to control because they know that our minds have become so weak. Do you get what I'm saying? That they can now project images, thoughts, ideas, all these other things into our scrambled mind, the identity that we no longer have. And what the master explained is that's why the house, the slave master would tell you not to look at him in his eyes. You always say, look down. Don't look at me, boy. Yeah, because when you look at them, you're seeing from your own mind's eye, from your ancestors' eyes into theirs. And so they don't want you to look. So they taught us to look down so that we'll no longer have that connection. Because once you look at them and you know who you are, just what I'm saying, it has an effect on them. And you can see this when we see it. Because when we're propagating and Caucasian walk by, you know, you look at them at it, and then, you know what I mean? They do that, no, honestly. And then the ones that are with Nagarus, or the Nagaru who are with Mukasu, when they walk out, and they you know, it's like there's an embarrassment, a feeling. They know there's something there, but they don't know what it is. We know what it is because we've been taught the higher science that you got to disagree. You got entities that are in you that know who Partner Babylon is, who know who the Sabians are. They don't know. You get what I'm saying? Really and truly, you know. But the in the book, Emotional Energy, Actual Fact, Emotional Energy, he goes on to explain that because, especially the male Mukasu is linked to the lower realms. You see what I'm saying? His spirit is just demonic because he's being tortured daily. So his whole outlook on things is demonic. He also has the mentality of a 13-year-old. While his female, she has the ability to transform. You see what I'm saying? Because she's Femi 6. You see, so she can go all the way to Femi 9, and her mentality is a bit more stable. You know, so these are the things that we can see and know about the reason why our minds and their minds are different, etc., and our behaviors are different. It's all coupled with that. Yes, but the insanity, yeah, you know, or the out of your mind state is because, yeah, it's to do with that. Anti-Kathir. Yes, my bro. Oh. How do we revert that? Wu-Sabat, Tio. Wu-Sabat is the formula that will revert you back and unscramble your genes. Because our genes have become scrambled. Okay, what's happening to the genes? Two parents or two beings, human beings, male, female, come together. They're sharing what we know and have been called chromosomes or DNA. Okay? The genetic pattern of these two individuals are shared. But it's not just that that's being shared. There's also the spiritual and the energy aspect linking them to their ancestors. Now, if two of those people are from different races, there's a different mentality that happens. You with me? And the information in the DNA becomes a little bit more unstable. Not to mention when you mix it in with other animals on the planet, which some of unfortunately have been mixed in with, it messes up the genes. So the mentality becomes even more deranged. And you know what? Even when you look at an animal that has deranged, you call it a thoroughbred. You know, you got thoroughbred animals, they're more mentally stable. And then what do they call an animal that's mixed? They call it a mongrel. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's more wilder, it's more unstable. Do you get what I'm saying? It'll attack more, etc. So these are the things. So when you look at that, it's just looking at how natural nature manifests instability in not just human beings, but also in animals. You with me? That's why they normally use a thoroughbred for doing certain things. You're gonna have a question.
Yeah, it leads on to my question.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, is there a difference between a humanoid and a human being?
Mm, yes, there is. There is. There is. But the word oid in itself denotes any being that has what's oid? Oid describes the actual like physical, the physical attributes. You know what I'm saying? So when you're saying caucasoid, humanoid, etc., it's ordinary or negroid. Yeah, so it's actually defining what you are physically.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? But in the sense of a human being, yes, because there's different stages. I think you read it in here, didn't you?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just looking for it now.
You drop down, there you go. So read from verse 119.
It's all in their genes from tampering with DNA 6,000 years ago, 9,000 years ago, and crossbreeding hybrids, animals, and man even longer. 121. This transforms supreme beings
So transform supreme beings,
to human beings, to human, to man, to mammal, to beast. Called the circle of life and death.
Yeah. So you drop that. That's how far we've dropped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So my follow-up to that is, are humanoids animals?
No, because it's actually a stage because you got man in there as well.
Okay.
So you got human to man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I said. The oid bit, if you're dealing with the humanoid, is more leaning towards animal type of because you know you can look human, but you're not human. So you're a humanoid kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like what they're trying to do now with what they call it. They make films about it. Not Demolition Man. What's Arnold Schwarzenegger's in them? Terminator. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Where they made an android. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. You also see it in other movies. I think what's the one Dolph? I'm keeping out bare names like I've been watching bare movies. Not Dolph Lundgren, what's his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was in one. Universal Soldier. Yeah. So you're moving from man, some human to man to even less than a human. So these are humanoids because they still got the flesh and everything and still, operate as a human being, but they're controlled. They're more controlled. And that's what Elon Musk is now doing with trying to get, have a soul in a humanoid or an android now. Do you get what I'm saying? In order to have a soul so that it can operate like a human. So that oid bit is like, it's more dealing with synthetic, which are not natural. Yeah.
The main reason why I asked, more recently, I guess with the knowledge I'm getting, I just see certain things online and I just put my mind to it.
Okay.
And I'm vomiting and going, sometimes I'm going mad. I'm not gonna lie, but I do what I'm doing on there, and I think one of the arguments I got into was us as a human race, are we animals?
We are on one level.
Okay.
We're human mammals or human animals, because there's a part of us that is mammalian, there's a part of us that's reptilian, and there's a part of us that's also supreme. You see what I'm saying? But all these natures exist, these components exist within you. You see what I'm saying? And it manifests in different forms. Semen, do you get what I'm saying? When a child is born, it also has that hair on its, they call it fine hair, lanugo hair, which falls off. That's your mammalian stage. So the master explained about the reptilian stage, the first trimester, the second trimester looking like a gray, something, the third trimester looking like a human or a mammal. But really and truly, men are not mammals because we don't breastfeed, because the word mammalia comes from the word to milk, to breastfeed. You see what I'm saying? But we don't breastfeed, so we are actually reptilians. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's proven by the fact that we provide semen. But then women are also reptilian because they can also produce semen by way of the Bartholin gland. You see what I'm saying? So they're actually aquatic how can I put it? Reptilian mammalian species, really. That's what females are. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is why when you go and now go into the ancient teachings, the Ogdoites, the reason why Earth is not a solid foundation of the planet is because it's dealing with a name that derived from the ancient word Iridu, which in the QnA form or the Sumerian word meaning home away from home. That then got derived and translated into the Chaldean, which became the Aramaic into Eretz, which described the solid foundation of the planet, which then got translated into the Greek, into the German, into Earth. You see what I'm saying? So this is actually the origin of it is actually talking about home away from home. These are the Anunnaki when they came here in their thousands and landed here, and that became home away from home where they were doing the mining, etc. You see what I'm saying? But the actual planet itself is known as Ptah Nun or Tiamat, which means maiden of life, or what does Tiamat mean again? I think it means, I can't remember. I did look it up one time. But Tiamat is talking about the water reptilian creature. Because that's what Earth was. It's a water planet. You know, and we think we're breathing air. It's actually a fine film of water called hydrogen and oxygen. You know what I'm saying? It's actually water we're breathing, you know, but it's in a very dense form of it, or lighter form, should I say. Yeah. So all of this is describing that we are not human as what we think. Do you get what I'm saying? We've morphed many times. We've morphed over the years. Even the times of the when humans were on the planet, coming out the waters, we've morphed. Do you get what I'm saying? We've also had interceptions where certain DNAs were being upgraded or tweaked in order to sustain ourselves in the environments that we found ourselves in. Extraterrestrials have come here and done that. So, you know what I mean? We are actually just supreme beings. And this is just, remember, the skin suit. To live in the aquatic environment. The real you is that supreme being that has forgotten its origin. Yeah? But yeah. Antaka beautiful.
Fantastic.
You're joking?
It's amazing where you get it all from. It's fantastic, yeah. Right.
I have a question.
What about Jackie? Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm thinking about a person who's unstable, you know, as we're discussing the mind, Wu-Sabat, by practicing Wu-Sabat, that will really help them to be, you know, to be more stable.
Yeah, Jackie,
However,
we can hear you, but you sound a bit muffled. So yeah, it's not very clear when you're coming through. Could you just try again? Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking about somebody who's unstable. You know, they're having problems, you know, balancing their mind and their emotions. Wu-Sabat, you're saying, would be the answer. Practicing Wu-Sabat would help. However, you know, most individuals, they don't know Wu-Sabat. They'll see maybe psychologists, psychiatrists, you know, for treatment, and they're going to put them on medication. But the medication, though, is only going to be like a temporary, you know, like a more band-aid effect. You know, so that is my question. That the medication is really not gonna really be the all in all to treat them, you know, for permanent solution.
Yeah, I think I'm getting the gist of your question. You're alluding to that if a person becomes mentally unstable and they, I don't know, sectioned or in the mental, you know, they get taken onto medication. That medication, is it helping them in the short term? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it helps, you know, short term, long term, you know, permanent solution.
Well, one of the things about these medications, they have side effects. And, you know, it doesn't conform to your natural body. You know what I mean? It affects your sleep, it affects your mind state to a degree, because all it does is it targets certain specific parts of the brain and shuts them off. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily deal with the actual problem itself. So what Wu-Sabat does, it connects you with that part that they don't know about or don't, how can I say, confirm or won't allow or won't confirm the existence of, which are that there's actual other energy levels or there's other spiritual existence that exists beyond the physical, and that the mind is connected to these things. You see, so that's the poor thing about the West and their methodology of trying to deal with mental psychosis or mental traumas or mental health, is that they don't deal with the spiritual aspect. So what Wu-Sabat does, it teaches you both sides. You know, obviously the healthy eating, what's the word? I always forget this word, but living in accordance with nature. There's a particular word I'm trying to find, but in essence, practicing that physical aspect of positive eating, spiritual living, looking after yourself, your mental well-being, etc. Then you have the other aspect, which is the chanting, the calling on your ancestors, the acknowledgement that they exist. You see what I'm saying? The fasting. These are aspects that they won't teach you about, so they'll give you the pill. Do you see what I'm saying? In order to try and cure or at least sedate the issue. But what Wu-Sabat teaches a holistic approach. So it teaches you about the physical and it teaches you about the spiritual and explains what is happening on both levels. Because we don't just say, oh, just chant. Just what I'm saying. We explain why you're chanting. You know, because as you chant, you're making a communication, you're creating a resonant frequency, which is linking in with your ancestors. And those ancestors, depending obviously on the person's mental state, because you can have extremes in it. They do only symptom manage. That's right, exactly. They only do manage the symptoms, exactly. So Wu-Sabat manages not just a symptom, but the actual underlying cause of that symptom. But it has to be in an environment and that is, you know, is conducive. It's also an environment where they can be allowed to express themselves. It's not an easy journey. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to try and make Wu-Sabat like it's a easy journey, because most of it is actually do for self-application, you know, and with the right support, you can do for self, but you have to be willing to take that support on, you know. So yeah, it's that aspect that we cover. Like I think the brother was reading in here again, Greg was reading about the voices. Yeah, so it talks about how, do you know what I mean, being on the right frequency or resonance frequency, that comes by way of the chanting, that comes by way of the studying Wu-Sabat, that comes by way of applying. Because once you open up that field of communication, your ancestors, they see you by your energy, your light. And that light frequency energy, if it's on the right dial tone, yeah, they'll be able to connect with you. So this is what we teach in Wu-Sabat.
Does it help?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, you know, I don't know who is in your family or etc., or if you know somebody's in your family or somebody you know, but it's not easy. So please bear that in mind. You know, just do your best that you can, you know, to help them.
Yeah, I knew of someone years ago,
Okay.
you know, and it was all about the medication, but yeah, it didn't really pan out well,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
it never does, because you're dealing with the mind is a very, yeah, delicate but powerful at the same time. Do you know what I mean? And it's when you expose yourself to unsavory things, because it can happen by way of even, you know, drugs. Drugs can open up your mind to other fields of energy, and these beings can latch onto that and be in your mental. They can be inside you and reside in you for years and years and years and plague you. So yeah, it's a hard journey. You know what I mean? But it can be done if you put things into practice. It can be done.
I thought at the time that this person might have been taken over by spirit. You know, at the time.
That is what's happening. You have because
Evil spirits anyway.
yeah, you got disagreeable, disembodied beings who are looking for a host constantly. Yeah, they're not sitting around, they're looking for a host. And when they find a host, they will latch onto that host and plague them or use their bodies to satisfy their cravings. Do you see what I'm saying? So if the person's, especially if they're in a religious state of mind and they have suppressed the higher part of them that is able to fight whatever's going on with them, then it's a very hard battle. And why Wu-Sabat is here, because it's supposed to awaken that dormant higher powers that you have. But if you suppress it, and you've been suppressing it prior to even coming into any form of mental issues, and you've already killed your higher self already. Most people have subjugated or suppressed their higher being from a very early age anyway. So it's quite hard for them to embrace Wu-Sabat because of what they've been indoctrinated into or what their beliefs or what they want to hold on to. So when other entities come in and they control this particular being, you might as well say that they're like an empty shell because of how they've suppressed their mind for so long.
And the church, what they'll do, some of them will say, don't take the medication, you know, and then, of course, there's no solution because the church might pray for them and, you know.
I couldn't hear you probably. You've gone back to being muffled again, my sister.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, the church might say, don't take the medication. At the same time now, their remedy is also not working because it's simply like, you know, pray, you know, pray, you know, let's say a prayer, you know, and that should be sufficient.
Yeah, but the question is, who are you praying to?
Yeah.
That's the question. Yeah. All right. I hope we'll be able to give you at least something to utilize and help with. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue reading from, was it verse?
I'll go back from 137.
Okay.
Some will start to hear voices, chatter, whispers, loving murmuring, and lose track of their own thoughts, become insane or out of their own mind. 138, not in control of sound, right reasoning. 139, this is what faith and belief does to the clear thinking being. 140, no other living creature is asked to have faith. 141, they each live by their own nature fate and dictated by nature. 142, only humans are offered religion or an opinion and asked to forget reality, facts, confirmation, and to trust in unseen forces, while their inner voice tells them to stay on their center, comply with what you are, nature's supreme being. 143, the talking being, the being with reason, choice, or will. 144, the African creature, Nagaru, Negroids, were given a voice box 54,000 years ago, first tested with the African grey parrot, and the baboon to see if it would be able to mimic or repeat sounds it hears and construct sentences. 145, it worked, so we did the same to the African of 54,000 years ago, making humanoids able to communicate and exchange thoughts. 146, you, Nagaru, Negroids, before lower breeds could speak, write, carve, and sing. 147, then you mix fluids with lower created human's kind, who could not speak, or articulate until 9,000 to 6,000 years ago. And 148, and from the one language given to you, Nagaru, Negroids, in Africa were born tongues and dialects. 149, as they tried to pronounce words of the one language and could not, thus many tongues were formed. 150, when you mixed your DNA, or your divine DNA, with lower creatures, you birthed a kind of man, man's kind. 151, you were a human being. 152, they are just beasts being human. 153, Nagaru, Negroids, the original, were the only being who exists on the real straight line, a Sarat, etheric cord of divine life linked to your Salafu ancestors like an open straw, and they fed you reason. 154, they took the line and formed the circle, a never-ending life for you, until you broke it by mixing your seed, which opened the circle of time, set the clock of death in motion clockwise. 155, that which was unlimited now has limitations. 156, the one supreme race must be cleansed inside out and outside in. 157, as absolute divine nature is infinite in all directions, from you in your center as the black dot. 158, eternal, who sets the course of your own time, place as Papaut, the all, in Paut, all. 159, all other races are parts of the original one supreme Salal race, Nagaru, Negroids. 160, thereby are limited because they will run out of expansion formula or existence time as an individual entity became diseased and will seek to feed off your Ba'a, soul. 161, your Damam, blood, your Jasad, flesh, by attracting you with emotions, lust, luster, fame, fortune, and pleasure. 162, or they will fade, yet you must not trust them. 163, it's called replacing fate with faith. 164, believe in them and their image, religion's beliefs of the dead over the living. 165, know that all beings are in fact one being known as absolute unique nature in all. 166, the one supreme race, Panagaru, the Negroids of Afafreye Ka'a, Africa, who are the creator of the circle of order and time during the existing time of this universe. 167, not only do all organisms live on a formula circle of self, yet also on the finite or infinite formula of time, from the circle unlimited to the square 4 points of limited time of living. 4 by 6,000 equals 24,000.
Sorry, pause there because I want to just expand on that. This is from sorry, this here you go. Right. So this is the 24. You mentioned 24, didn't you?
Yeah, 24,000.
Yeah, 24,000. So this 24,000 links into actual fact, the Master Secrets. But this is Master Secrets, the birth of Earth and the Matrix. Okay, so so from the birth of Earth and the Matrix, verse 7, It says, this one we are now on, Taha Earth. Taha Earth was given to grow up to 24 points. So its circumference is 24,000 miles. That's 1 mile of landmass for every year to date to its ages of cycles of 24,000 years called one equinox. Even days and shadow hours called night. The point in its time zone when the sun crosses its belt or equator, making night and day of equal length in all sectors of it. Setting its time from a moment is a measuring system of duration to become 24 hours. It's all based on a rotating vortex of its tetrahedron, a three-sided Marat pyramid. 3 equals 8, as 3 times 8 equals 24. So oxygen, O8, was needed for this form of life, which was to be carbon-6, base life form, and needed 24,000 genomes or chromosomes to sustain its life form as chromium-24, Cr24. Chromium has the ability to resist corrosion, and the beings to be grown on this planet needed to be corrosion-free. So they were given carbon-6 coloring, that is chromo or chroma, the Greek word for color, black. The Nagaru Negroes were the first Kawak Muskasu planet people grown here on Sector 3, Zone 6, District 24. Okay, right. Sector 3 is third from the sun. Okay, Zone 6 is from the outside wall coming in. Okay, so that was the 6th zone coming in. That'll be 1, 2, 3 from Mars, etc. Will be 6th zone, yeah? And then you got District 24. So this is actually like in constellation-wise, dealing with extraterrestrials, star map, these are star maps. So that's how they will count Earth. They wouldn't say, you know, planet Earth, the third planet on, they'll say this how they map out stars. So District 24 is just the district that we're in. You see what I'm saying? There are other districts, but it's District 24. Okay, based on the 24,000 genomes, etc.
Is it am I right to say the Sirius system is in a different district?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. We placed on their chromosome of 24,000 one unique molecule now called Ha-Wahu-1. Yeah, Ha-1, which we've talked about before. A small particle element or compound that will exist free and retain Natharu, Nasdar's Nibiru overseers characteristics. We did this 54,000 years ago when we gave them speech and assigned 24 beings of old, 24 elders as their Wahanu overseers. This Kawak Taha, planet Earth, was grown 90 million miles from its Reye sun and expands and contracts to 93 million miles. And its weight is 6 sextillion tons. It's based on cycles of years of 4. That is 4 equal time periods of 6,000 years each, 24,000 years. The supreme mathematics or Mamtat matrix of this planet is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, or 8 digits. 3 times 8 equals 24. So the matrix of this planet relates to its genome. Planet 24, or Taha Earth, was a project of the Ka'a spirit and Ba'a soul, Mokwanu beings. So it's a project of these spirit and soul beings sent here to Munzul, incarnate or grow into sun genes, and had an assignment if they were to return. So you had Athunu, Rabu, Kamamu, 24 elders, 12 males and 12 females, Muhanu, overseers from Sa'at Orion and Sabatat. You have 24,000 miles in circumference. You have 24 years to an equinox. You have in the root race, Melaninite Kharadu children, the first world Salal race, Nagaru Negroes, 24,000 genomes. You have 24 hours of the day and night. You have the element chromium, 24. You have 24 colors of light. You actually have 24 signs of the star map, Dendara or zodiac. So the Munbatu golden children, Melaninites, were given 24 accomplishments to master within the 24,000 years to be welcomed home as part of the galactical system of worlds, from this one universe into the Kale Makwan Art omniverse. The Nagaru Makwan Negroid beings were given 24,000 years to accomplish these 24 heights of perfection. So it's a lot going on than just, you know, just having 24 genomes, 1,000 genomes. It all links in to this planet, and it links into who you are as a being. Do you get what I'm saying? And what you're supposed to do to perfect your being. You know, so that's all part of why. So I just want to just tap on that, link it all in, you know, for it to make a bit more sense.
I'm just curious,
Yeah.
in the context of the accomplishments to be achieved.
Yeah, you want to read it? You want to read it?
Yeah.
Let's read it. Let's read the accomplishments.
I
So
think
some of these have been done already, okay, because you have the Adamites been doing their thing around the world, but decipher the 24,000 genomes. So they've done that in the Human Genome Project. Graft and clone, so that you can see that they've been doing that. Overcome killer viruses and diseases. Well, they're struggling with that at the moment. Mental or cordless communication of light, sound, and image. We know that is mobile phone. Yeah. Space travel. That's what Elon Musk is now trying to do. Transform HG Mercury back to AU gold. They've been doing that in their science. I've been reading, you know, you can check this out. That they're now actually even using water. You can actually turn water into gold in laboratories now. Yeah, so they know how to do it, but it doesn't stay for long. The stability of it doesn't last long, but they know the process. Split the atom. We know they've done that. Speak, read, write, and record time. Okay, these are things that we're supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? As we are learning through Wu-Sabat, the information is going to come to us, and the Garu are going to be doing. So if you see, it's all around the world. So it's not necessarily Sabians, it's Nagaru, because it's in your DNA. So if you look at parts of Africa, America, parts of the world where Nagaru are at, you can see children now are creating things, you get what I'm saying? They're making, a guy now does has made a car that has no, you know, engine and those kind of things. Yeah, exactly. No gears, nothing. You know what I mean? We don't need, it's using electricity to be powered or something like that. You know, or is it hydrogen? One of the things.
radio waves.
Yeah, radio waves. That's the one. That's the radio wave. So we're also making those things. So it's going to happen in the morphogenetic field of the Nagaru race, where we're going to start mastering these things anyway. So this within the 24,000 year cycle. So that's now coming. Has started happening now from the year 2000, so or 1967 when the master incarnated, etc. So I'll go on. Speak, write, read, write, and record time. 9 organ transplants. 10 genetic manipulation. 11 flight. 12 construction. 13 time travel. 14 discover the 3 sun solar system, Razak or Marzak. That they've actually alluded that they've seen a 3 tri-solar system, just what I'm saying, with planets around it, but they haven't actually said that it's risk. But they know risk exists. They, you know, before they would laugh at the master and ridicule him, people on like, oh, man from planet Risk, he must be crazy. 3-star solar system exists. So now what are you going to say? Are we crazy now? So master music's math in relation to light and sound. Agriculture. Find the gateway or wormhole. Uncover the depths of the seas. Uncover the inner Earth's realms. Know their being inside out, outside in. Speak in one tone. So we should all be speaking this because tones open up vortexes. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Teleportation. Uncover the 120th element. The master is not going to give them what that is yet because they're waiting for him to drop what the 120th element is. Because most of the time they're waiting for him. When he puts something out, then that's when we've discovered it. Communication with the spirit world, both dead and extraterrestrial. Well, we're beginning to do that now as well. Do you get what I'm saying? We're now teaching Wu-Sabat that you make an altar to your ancestors, you communicate with them, etc. So that's happening. So these were to be accomplished before the hourglass or 24,000 years ran out. This has been done on this orb because of hybrids of mankind who by their taba'a nature was made to be a distraction and have for the past 6,000 years done just that, distracted the Nagaru Negroes from a Raquet spell of mental sleep. So they put us under that sleep to distract us from actually doing what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what it ties into. I mean, there's more, but obviously, if you can get it's called Actual Fact. Sorry, Master Secrets: The Birth of Earth and the Matrix, series number 1. Okay.
Yeah. I think what stands out is the accomplishment number 20. Know their being inside out and outside in. And I think that ties in a lot to the questions that were posed tonight about the inner voices, about being out of control. And so I think it just confirms that there's inner work to be done, understanding, and like my brother alluded to, take the time, get the space, do the work, and achieve a positive difference. Right, I'm going to go back to 24,000. So I'm continuing from verse 168. You are in the third world of time, 169. The fourth world of time would be 18,000 years, or 6 plus 6 plus 6, which equals 18. The beginning of the last 6,000 years by imperfection. 170. There is a limitation of only 6,000 years of chaos starting at 4,000 BCE. The ending is not yours. 171. They were grafted into existence out of the proper time cycles. 172. Sick and diseased and have no formula working like all other creatures on this planet. 173. They are in fact unreal, a kind of man. 174. The Kakasu, Caucasoid, as a race will not make the dimensional shift, as they have downgraded their DNA even further by mixing with animals, producing Homo porcine and Homo canine. 175. The same as a mule, is an offspring of the jackass and a female horse. 176. A graftation into a mutation, not an original being. 177. He is a mutant, inherited characteristics of Frankenstein monster, created in a laboratory called Shimtai in Baalbek, Lebanon, Laban. 178. So know, Nuwaupians, your divine formula as the supreme being, center of Pa'ut, all. 179. Pa'ut, the all, is I am, Nagaru Negroids. 180. Pa-Nuwaup-Kawanu, the supreme beings. And that's the end of the script.
Okay, just gonna jump to, I want to show that Tio asked for, I don't know if you can see that, but if you want to take a snapshot or something, it's the thing is it's reversed, so I don't know how that's gonna work. It's reversed in the camera, but that's the 24 heights of perfection. Okay, for you who need to see it, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of back to front in the. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you can take a picture. And then to add to that, I want to add a get more. There's another build on there's another book called The Master Secrets. Okay. Again, unfortunately it's camera reverses, but it's called Master Secrets, the Black Dot Helix Mind Link. So it kind of like touches on what we were breaking down, the mind last week, and also all expanding.
Yeah.
It links both together. But in here, from verse 73, it says, let me just, so just bear with me a sec. I apologize for that. I hope I can still be heard on Clubhouse, because we have to double check with Clubhouse. Right, so verse 73. Only human beings have that Sacham, divine mind. Actually, no. I need to go back because we're dealing with what we've read, Papaot. We talked about, we touched on Papaot. We talked about Papaot, we spoke about dark energy, dark matter. So in this book, it just goes into a little bit more in the Master Secrets. So verse 58, natural nature is black, supreme balancement, and all other so-called colors come out of it, just as this one universe of all colors came forth from a black hole. This is what the ancient elders called triple darkness. Dark energy, dark matter, darkness of black hole. So again, you go into ancient hieroglyphs, you see the noon bowl, okay? And you see 3 noon bowls that's representing space, matter, and time. Yeah, so that's what you see it right there. Yeah, okay. Sun, and out of which chaos was born, or what they call triple lightness: sun, lightning, fire. Verse 61. For once light came forth, with it came shawash, chaos. Yet dark is permanent and light is temporal. 63. Ordinarily, space and matter are inseparable unity. However, when space and matter is in what is called perfect union, extraordinary and divine things occur. Verse 64. There is no energy existing or can exist other than some form of dark matter and dark energy. The creative soup of this universe, creative energy, Nuntat. Okay, so just giving you the ancient names for them so you can correlate, you can relate to what is being addressed here. And of course, energies are the active parts and ingredients of physical, material existence, also working in the brain's etheric seed as the akal nashat, mind energy, that melts down and become active creative sparks of electricity which within the synapses. So that's what's happening, is when you receive a thought, this is what's taking place in your mind. There's actually an energy, etheric seeds, brain seeds. They're known as brain newts. And these newts are actually, how can I say, well, it's going to explain it anyway, but it's going to melt, it starts to melt down into your brain, and your brain cooks it at a particular temperature, but these are your thoughts. So those thoughts are coming from Parnataru. Do you see what I'm saying? Once you're connected to them, you start to receive those thoughts, but this is the actual process that's taking place. So I'll just carry on reading. So active magic energy is the form of mind and reason in thought process. The brain seeds melt down to brain soup, that being the maye, liquid fluid or water of the thought needed to activate the electrical charges or changes of the synapses, which activate and is activated by rules of natural nature and suitable conditions in all nature. For such meltdowns of the warming up of brain soup, of course, activates all thinking and reasoning. So that's why we teach that Wu-Sabat is, or 9 ether, is the motivator and activator, and is the highest mental faculty of your reasoning, because this is what's taking place. You're accessing brain information, etheric energy that's coming in. For such meltdowns are the warming up of brain soup, and of course activates all thinking and reasoning unless you have an unnatural brain seeds. An unnatural brain seed is a result of defective genetics. So that goes back to the question was asked about, you know, why there's instability in some people, why people are going mad or crazy, etc. This is what's taking place. You have unstable brain seeds that are actually affecting the way your process, your thought process are going on. Okay. So these defective genetics from the disease of, unnatural brain seed. An unnatural brain seed is a result of defective genetics. From the disease of Barasi, leprosy, or other venereal diseases caused by unnatural sexual contact between human beings, beasts, or musyad mutatalu, extraterrestrials from other worlds. Okay, I think there's a question asked about, can a parasite be called demons in a person's body? How important is it to remove them to connect with your ancestors? Was that? Okay, yeah, we haven't got much time left, so I'm going to just read this. This is what's wrong with the Caucasoid race. Their brain soup is affected and does not heat up to the perfect temperature needed to activate divine mind. Only human beings have that Saim Saham divine power. No other animals or beasts have that in their genome, like the Nagar Nadu Negroids, having 24,000 gene sequences put in by the overseers. Genes maintain all the genetic data of a single cell present in a cell by the DNA of the nucleus. So it goes into the gene, etc., etc. And talking about junk DNA. But I just wanted to just give you another scope or perspective of what's taking place. Yeah. We haven't got much time left. We're running out of time now. Before it was like still in it. Okay, so can parasite be called demons? Yes, we refer to in ancient cultures or in ancient times, parasites, bacteria, viruses were known as demons because they affected the mind. So this yeah, definitely is important to remove them so that you can connect with your ancestors. Yes, it is very important. I mean, there's various things that you can drink or take, you know what I mean, to remove parasites. Fasting, you know, other things like chanting even, etc.
And that again latches on to the number 20, the achievables, cleaning yourself inside out and outside in.
What's the difference between a Nataru Negroid and the Sabians? Okay, the word, Nagaru, if you're saying Nagaru, Nagaru refers to us as a species. Sabians is to do with the practice of our culture. Okay, and Nuwaupian is to do our science. You understand? So one is to do with the science, Nuwaupu is the science, and Sabian is the culture that we live. So Nagaru are people who are still of our race and our species, but they haven't embraced Wu-Sabat or wu-nuwaup as their way of life. Because obviously, as we were explaining, because of the scrambling of the genes, many people have lost their identity of who they are. And so they need to rekindle that. And the way to rekindle that is by way of this information. Okay. We're about to close off for class.
I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Robert. It's a bit off topic. Well, it is off topic, so forgive me for that.
It's
But
all right. We're in our question and answer zone now, so.
okay, good. Have you got the book, The Psalms of Yanun?
Go ahead with your question.
Well, I'm trying to. If you've got it, I think it's Psalm 65. If you could read it, there was something about forgiveness in that psalm, and it just threw me a bit.
Do you have it to read, or do we
No,
need to get it to you?
I haven't. I
Oh,
heard someone read it, and
yeah.
I'm thinking, have I got the proper number? Is it 65 or 6?
Okay. Someone's bringing it to us now, so yeah.
Okay.
So page 65 or verse 65? Samantha?
Jackie?
We've lost you. Or is it us frozen? We're not frozen, are we?
No.
Okay.
Which
See
one
if
says
for
about
forgiveness.
forgiveness?
Yeah. Okay, right. Must be this one. So Psalms, let's go to Psalm 65, see if it's talking about Psalms 55. Yeah, 63. Okay. No, it's talking about the Adamites and deceiving that one. So it must be verse 65. Sorry, page 65, I mean. The pity on them, their descendants, that cut off their renowned name, blotted out. Sorry, we need a bit more.
Okay, while we're waiting for...
Yeah, well, yeah, is there any other questions or... Okay, invite them to speak then.
Right. Sahamtat, Atat, assistant.
Okay, Rahubat Zamata.
Want to unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Psalms, was it 65?
Is it page 65 or Psalm 65?
Say it again?
Right, we got Psalm 65 where it talks about let us Nuwaupians of wu-nuwaup rejoice. Children of wu-nuwaup, you are true Nuwaupians. Do not let the Zara seed of Adamites deceive you. Is that the one? Here, he is a worker of deception. For his Kameh alien overlords will try to convert you. Is that the one? For your Damam.
I think if you read it all the way down, does it say anything about forgiveness? Because it was saying something, what got me, it's like it was saying that you can be forgiven for all that you do. But I know that in our doctrines it says that there is a karma for things that you do. You have to, go through certain things because of the things that you do. So it's a bit.
I honestly, I'm not trying to avoid or anything. I cannot see. I'm familiar with what you're saying, but I'm not unless I read it. It's not showing up on page 65. And it's not showing up on Psalm 65 either. I've just looked at Psalm 65, yeah. Hold on a sec. Oh, yeah. No. Okay, right. Let us Nuwaupians of wu-nuwaup rejoice, children of wu-nuwaup. You are true Nuwaupians. Do not let the Zara seed of Adamites deceive you. He is a worker of deception for his Kameh alien overlords who will try to convert you for your Damam blood and Ba'ah soul. He is the sinner, and of what he calls the devil sinning from the very beginning. For this very purpose, Yanun manifested to you with wu-nuwaup, that with it you may destroy the evil. With wu-nuwaup, that with you may destroy the evil spell binding works of the Adamites and minions. In this work, as the Kharadu children of Parnatharu, the overseers, you will manifest your true divine selves. Whosoever of you Lamud teach and awaken of our own seed has saved a Ba'a soul, and your Mayod's past is erased for all you did while Tahul ignorant. Save others to save yourself. Ghafoor, forgive others to be Ghafoora, forgiven yourself. Is that what you're referring to? Okay.
It's saying that you will be forgiven. It's not that you can't be forgiven like that. If you do something, there's consequences. So I was a bit perplexed.
Well, it alludes what is referring to is that Parnatharu will be the ones that will take that forgiveness, if I'm reading it right. So it says here, Parnatharu, the overseers, you will manifest your true divine selves. Whosoever of you Lamo teach and awaken. So this is the part of the forgiveness. Because if you take on the mantle of a Sabian and you do the works of Parnatharu, and you are able to help save your own seed, it reads here, whosoever of you Lamud teach and awaken of our own seed has saved a Ba'a soul. So you will save a soul. And your Mayud's past is erased for all you did while Tahul, ignorant. Yeah, so all the things that you did while you're ignorant is going to be erased. Some save others to save yourself. Ghafoor, forgive others to be Ghafoora, forgiven yourself. So this Parnatharu doing the forgiving. because they will erase all the things that you did while you were ignorant. You can't claim, so you won't be able to claim that you were ignorant no more, is basically what you're saying. Because now you know.
So you're saying that now I know.
Mm. Now you know, yeah, you can't say that you didn't know, so your forgiveness is not going to come to you because of the fact that you know. If you didn't know, that's what it's saying here. If you didn't know, your past will be erased because you were ignorant. But now you're in Wu-Sabat. Okay, so it's really talking about those who were originally, in an ignorant state.
Sure.
Yeah? When you were in an ignorant state, you didn't know. So all those things, the things that you were doing while you were in an ignorant state is what's going to be forgiven. Now that you know, you can't claim ignorance, so you're not going to get forgiven. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I think I'm reading it wrong.
No, it's all right, it's okay. I mean, am I explaining it right?
Jamal,
Yeah.
Jamal,
Hmm.
you heard me?
Yes, you can be heard.
Yes, so why it will be forgiven if you know?
No, that's what we're saying. Okay. The things that because all right, let's just take for instance, you were doing things as a child or a young person, raving, whatever the case may be, getting into trouble, stealing, lying, etc. You didn't know Wu-Sabat had never come to you then. You were living in the Adamites world. You were living in the Mukasu world. So you were doing things that was against your natural nature. You with me? But when you start to awaken to Wu-Sabat and you are saving souls, that's your redemption. Because you're helping others to realize who they are. So those ignorant things that you were doing is forgiven. Are you following?
Right. Yes, I'm following, yes.
Right.
So if you did something wrong, as you know now, so you
Right.
won't be forgiven.
Right. So this is what we're saying. Now that you know, it's your responsibility to know. You can't claim ignorance no more.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. And you see, Wu-Sabat doesn't offer you the devil and God. It offers you are the devil and you are God. That's what it's teaching you, Wu-Sabat. You are that devil and you are the God. So it's the choice you need to make. You
What is the consequence?
exactly
What are the
consequences.
consequences for the knowledge? Now that we know.
Now that you know, you're supposed to help others make, as it says, you're going to read it, Azamal.
Of the scroll, the all expanding verse 174, it says the Caucasoid as a race will not make the dimensional shift, and as they have downgraded the DNA even further by mixing with animals producing Homo porcine and Homo canine, and that is what it's about. It's about being in a state, energetic state, to make the dimensional shift. Am I right?
Yes, that's part of it. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. So your journey is towards perfection. I think we're gonna probably go. Are we over time? What are you saying, Mr. Timekeeper?
1 minute.
The Adamite. Let me read.
Okay.
How long we got?
Yeah, got 30 seconds.
All right, judgment upon that. Love it. I like time. I like being under time constraints. Right. So, like just right. So, judgment upon the Adamites. What about you? Right now, I'm definitely under the cosh now because I can't find it. I looked at the wrong one. Sorry, Zamata. I thought it was that one. But it's essentially your whole journey is to perfect your being. I'm trying to remember what book it is in this other Earth and the Matrix, where it talks about perfecting your being.
I've got another quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know what they say that if you die, you've got this three situations going on. You can walk into the light. You've got the multiple color light, or you can go into the darkness. If because of where we are in the 24,000 year cycle, if we reach that situation, we wouldn't be able to reincarnate into the colorful light again, the colorful doorway, because if you're going to reincarnate back on Earth, it would be in turmoil, if you know what I mean. If the world's coming to an end, so to speak. Wouldn't be able to come
Well,
back.
the world, when you're saying the world coming to an end, to so to speak, are you referring to, remember, the world that we exist in, their world is coming to an end, not ours. Ours is just beginning, because we're in the 24,000 year cycle. That's the renewal of our way of life. Remember, it says every 24,000 years, the master being incarnates to renew your way of life. So the 24,000 years have started for us. So this is our world now. We're shaping it.
There's going to be kind of a replenishment, so disaster will strike this planet.
Yeah, that's right. So this is why a being has been sent to help prepare you so that you can make the transformation.
Out of this planet.
Exactly.
I'd say so that scenario about coming through the colorful door and coming back into this.
Well, okay, right. Yeah, they're not destroying the world that we're talking about, the Nagaru world, okay, is that it's being destroyed, the economic system, etc. Just what I'm saying, the foundation of their culture is being destroyed. And they're also going to be wiped out because of the fact that their genes are weak. So that's part of one of the reasons for the COVID virus. The COVID virus was to reduce the population. The problem is because we're so mixed in now with Nukasu and other races on the planet, our genes have now become weak. So some of us are not going to make that dimensional shift. In fact, a lot of us are not going to make that dimensional shift because we're so far removed from who we are. So if you're taking heed to the warner, which is explained, the most important thing at the moment, obviously, we know is to love and unity. But the other aspect is the coming together, to work together, to build a community together, speak your own language, because the language, okay, what it's doing in the atmosphere is changing the frequency of the atmosphere. Every time just like the way the English language has been spoken or other Latin European languages are spoken, is because the frequency is changing the way we think. And the frequency of the tones, okay, is actually affects the energy of the environment. You see what I'm saying? So we have to do this by speaking our own, living our own, wearing our own, eating our own, practicing our own culture. That will change who our 24,000 cycle will be ours. We will claim that. But we also have to show that we're worthy of it.
But why I say that is because I've got it in my head that a meteorite is going to come and this world is going to be not completely wiped out, but there's going to be some disaster.
Yeah, that's right. There'll be portions of the planet destroyed. But this is part of why we have to learn to come together. and learn to speak in our own tones. Because once you're in your own mind, when they communicate to you, if you raise yourself to that level, they'll be able to communicate to you so that you know where to go.
Okay, so it's like I'm worrying and I shouldn't be worried.
Yeah, basically, yeah, yeah. I mean, okay. Do you remember who's watched the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Sure.
Okay, try and watch that movie. It's a very old movie, but in there, these people, individuals, just get a calling. They have to get to this place, and they do whatever is necessary. Their parents, their relatives and parents think they're mad. But eventually they get to this place and it's in a mountain, it's an enclosure, and they get into the mountain and this craft lands. But what the importance of the movie is that they were speaking in tones, and you probably know this tone. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Right. So those were the tones. So if you take it now to what we're speaking, Nuwaupic is the tones. And the tones is what's going to calibrate your DNA. And that DNA, when you're transforming from the inside out and outside in, as the brother is explaining, you have to turn yourself inside out, outside in to receive your barytheric gland, to receive this, to be able to open the vortex, because tones open vortexes. So all of these things is what we need to be practicing. So if there is a catastrophe, wherever to hit anywhere on the planet, and we're guided to the right places, then we'll be able to go through the vortex because we've transformed ourselves and being prepared in order to, how can I say, survive the compression. Because remember, your DNA and everything, your molecules being literally converted inside out and pass through a wormhole onto another side, and then you'll be reconverted. That's what's going to happen. But if you're not strong enough emotionally, spiritually, etc., you'll be born premature, or you get stuck. And that's what they showed you in the Philadelphia experiment. Because the guy was so emotionally attached to his wife or his loved one, many of them didn't have the zero time reference and they weren't calibrated. This is what wu-nuwaupu is doing for you. This is what the language is doing for you. It's recalibrating your genetics. So the speaking of it is what it's doing. It's shifting those actual GTCA, those what they call the adenosine, guanine, cytosine, etc. Is actually reconfiguring it and building you as a building block and transforming you. That's what the language is doing.
Sure.
You like that, yeah? All right, yeah. But time's coming up. I was just gonna read, yeah. So remember, my child, the center point U of a perfect ball orbal cycle or cycle is equidistant from all contours of the ball surface. Now you know your purpose and reason of tidal birth, to perfect your Mukwan being and world around you. How do I know these things, many things you ask? Well, I was there, which is here, when the word was spoken, exist. Pop out the existence. Okay, you wanna wrap it up, Zamal?
Right, Moisar, what an exciting evening. I hope and I think and I know that you you experienced the DNA explosion as we did, as I did. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Like we said before, you could have been anywhere else, and you decided to do what matters most during these times, and that is to connect with self, learn Wu-Sabat, so that you get in a position where you'll make the dimensional shift. And we wish that on all of you. Keep studying, keep going, learn the language, reinforce Wu-Sabat, and share with those around you. And we hope to see you back next week.
Yeah, next week will be a different teacher. Myself and Goreg, we're gonna take her time out. Might go where, Dubai?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, but yeah, Monsieur Taukum Lahe Yatwe, thank you for the class, coming to class. Goreg said what I would have said, and yeah, take care of yourself. See you next week. Again, each one teach one. All right. What do Moisa?
Sabotage, what do?
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, don't forget there's study classes and all those things going around as well. So try and get your study ready.